Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. I'm bright, vibrant, wearing green. Colin is in the dark, wearing blue, black
Wearing blue out
hat.
of all days. I guess you want should I put my light up. I
Yeah, I
hate daylight savings time.
can't see. What do you mean? This has nothing to do with daylight
It
savings,
has
Colin.
everything
It's
to do with daylight
11.
savings time. You want to know why? Because
It's
now
eleven.
the sun's already halfway gone.
It's 11:30. And Colin's blaming daylight savings. Now, I do
Halfway
agree.
gone.
Okay, yes, in theory, you are right. I'm just saying, you have a much better argument at like 5 o'clock if we did this podcast and it's pitch black outside.
Let me just tell you something. I just woke up, so
The hard
Jeez.
life of a man who works 2 to 10 p.m. in daylight saving, nonetheless. So now he's basically his whole day is darkness, if you think about it.
That's so true.
Colin just wakes up in the dark, goes to sleep in the dark. It's a Batman effect. But yeah, for those who didn't already check out our basketball reaction podcast, that is only on YouTube. So if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, just type in Green Room, Green Room UNT, Green Room. I
Yep.
think
Green
either of
Room
those
UNT.
will work. So we're for instant reaction stuff like that, we'll just post it to the YouTube channel. So when it's only basketball, so check that out on the channel. Here we're just gonna be talking football, straight up. North Texas SMU. Obviously a big game for North Texas to try to get a win in the stretch of death. Coming off of 3 straight one possession losses against Tulane, Memphis, and UTSA. Where do we start? Where do we start when looking at this game? How are we feeling?
I'm absolutely terrified of this team. SMU is good. Like, I know that Tulane's really good and they'll probably win the conference. SMU could also still win the conference, but like Tulane's really good, Memphis is really good. We've been all through that, but this SMU offense is absolutely terrifying to me. Like, we could, not saying that this will happen, but we could be 69-10 Tulsa. Like, that could be us. Like, that's what's crazy about this offense at SMU.
SMU did beat the brakes off Tulsa. If you go through their schedule to this point, they're 7-2 overall, 4-0 in conference play. I said going into the year, the expectation for SMU was to win the conference or at least be in the conference championship game, which it has not been in the conference championship since I think it was like 2010 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Obviously, it's been a disappointing run for SMU when you spend this amount of money, the amount of money that they spend and the expectations they have to not have been in the conference championship game. And then we know, they've had some bowl losses that are very disappointing, gone through some coaches, yada, yada, yada. The 2 losses this year have been to Oklahoma by 17 points and to TCU by 17 points. The TCU loss, in my opinion, is a pretty bad loss because TCU is not good this year. Like TCU lost to Colorado. You go down the list of TCU games. TCU is not an opposing team. And SMU, while they had some chances in that game, TCU looked like the better team, which, so that's a disappointing loss if you're an SMU fan. But since starting conference play, you have a 34-16 win over Charlotte, 31-10 over East Carolina, 55-0 over Temple. Temple didn't have Warner in that game either. It's the same team North Texas played. And then 69-10 over Tulsa, and then 36-31 over Rice. Now, also, I think it's 5-0 in conference, not 4-0, sorry. But the Rice game is the one that you texted me. It's like, hey, man, Rice can do this. And I'm like, yeah, Rice is a pretty damn good team this year. We've said on the podcast a lot of times, like Rice is actually capable. And if North Texas played Rice, I'd be very, very scared. But still, on the road, SMU gets that win. So 5-0. I think the thing is with this offense, like you said, it is intimidating. Preston Stone's been good this year, but the question mark is Preston Stone playing? And at the moment, he's questionable. Obviously, I'm tight with Billy Embody, who covers SMU as well as LSU, and he was like, it's up in the air. Maybe, maybe not. I will say, and this is not from Billy, this is from me. It's like this game being on a Friday, gives him one less day in concussion protocol, and obviously hope he's okay, with this concussion. But it's like that's one less day to, get right, to pass any tests he needed to pass, whatnot. So if they have to go to the backup in Kevin Jennings, Billy told me that SMU fans love Kevin Jennings. So, that's take that for what it's worth. But this was a 3-star quarterback out of South Oak Cliff in Dallas, redshirt freshman, unproven, obviously, because he didn't start last year, this year. And while SMU fans might love him, I mean, I'm okay with taking a shot. If you're North Texas going in this game, you're like, okay, we get to play a guy who's maybe good against, or we get to play Preston Stone. And that's a pretty easy trade-off for me. So I would rather play Kevin Jennings.
Oh
And if
yeah,
they play, then, maybe the defense can maybe get a stop or two.
yeah. I mean, the problem is with the backup quarterback. He did lead a game-winning drive against Rice, by the way.
Yeah.
Is that although it's SMU's backup, it's still SMU. And then 2, this defense, I feel like this defense just can't take advantage of teams that are, wow, I cannot think of the word.
One-dimensional or something
No,
like that, or
short,
limited.
wow, just short on players, I guess.
Okay.
Like on the
Short-handed.
back, like for example, Temple would be the only example where I feel like that's really worked, and that's just because it took away everything that they've had, right?
And
Like
it
you
took
take
them a
away,
half to figure out Temple. Let's not forget.
yes, yeah. Temple scored. Did they score all 14
14.
in the first half?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So Temple is not SMU. SMU is way better, and just because they're missing their quarterback does not mean, in my head, that they still can't put up, whatever they want to against this
Well,
North Texas defense.
it's similar. I mean, last week against UTSA, Frank Harris didn't have to do much.
Right.
Right? It's like it was all in the run game.
Right.
SMU ran for 5 yards per carry against Rice.
Yeah.
Their 2 running backs, 15 carries, 11 carries, ended the game with 5 yards per rush. So if North Texas allows 5, 6, 7 yards per carry in this game, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. And that's
Right.
where the concern is. I do think it will help maybe keep the game closer for a longer amount of time if Kevin Jennings isn't obviously a dynamic passer, or we'll have to see, maybe he throws 1 interception or something. But ultimately, if this defense cannot get a stop against the run, if they cannot limit SMU in the run game and if they cannot give up, multiple long touchdowns,
Yeah.
then it's not going to matter. So I'm interested in that regard, but I do think it's worth noting because it opens the door to North Texas being more competitive in this game than, otherwise I would have said they were going to be. If it was Preston Stone 100% healthy coming into this game, I'd say North Texas defense had a very, very little shot at stopping and holding SMU to under like 31 points.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's a way they could hold SMU to like 31, 35 points.
But the question is, can they score that against SMU?
So that's that. Now let's flip it. SMU's defense at this point in the year has been even better than its offense. SMU's defense on EPA ranks 7th in the country, 16th against the run, 10th against the pass. Like I mentioned, you go through their schedule in the American. I said this before the year. The schedule in the American for SMU is easy.
Yeah.
No Tulane and no A&M. I'm sorry, UTSA. Sorry. No UTSA and no Tulane. Really, Memphis is their only game, I think, against a top 5 team in the
Yeah.
conference. I think I want to say. So to this point, you have, the offense putting up numbers, but then the defense holding ECU to 10, Temple 0, to Tulsa 10. And, so that probably inflates it. But I do think they played well against Oklahoma as well, only allowing 28 points in that game. So the defense has been kind of a revelation for Rhett Lashley and SMU. I can't get too deep into like the specific players, but overall, as a unit goes, this is a defense that is at the very least on par with Tulane
Yeah.
going into it. So, I mean, can North Texas maintain? Can they put together like a 4 quarters where they are consistently moving the ball or scoring the ball? That's going to be the question, because against Tulane, obviously, it was 2 different halves where couldn't
I mean, against
score
the
the
last
ball.
3 games have been 2 different halves.
Yeah, so it's either all or nothing, and on both sides of the ball, if they could find some consistency, I'd say they have a chance. But this SMU team is very, very talented for a reason.
Yeah, and if you want to look at it in a big picture sense, this is the last chance they can have to make a bowl game. 3 to win out.
Yeah, barring 5 and 7 APR coming through again.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
not happening.
but I'm not banking on that one. Um, yeah, so that's my overall thought on SMU. I know the spread is 17 and a half, something like that.
17.
Does it feel do you go into this game feeling better or worse than you did the last 3 games? Like, if you had to rank how you felt going into the stretch of death games, how are you feeling? UTSA, I felt
Um,
the best about.
I felt the best about
Memphis
UTSA.
was probably second, and then I don't know how you arranged Tulane and
I
SMU.
think SMU is better than Memphis. I think Tulane was scary, and they still are, but SMU to me has always had North Texas's number. Obviously, they picked up a few wins over the last few years, but it's always whenever SMU wins, it's usually by a lot, and that's what scares me the most. And with it being a quote unquote rivalry game, um, I
Well,
think
that's
that
this is the thing. It's like I was on Billy's podcast, and it's like they've played 3 straight games in close fashion, right? They didn't get
right,
blown out, and that was the step forward that we needed to see from this program is you're not getting blown out anymore by Memphis or UTSA or whatnot, or Tulane, those good teams. Honestly, I think keeping it within 10 of SMU would be another really good result.
yeah,
If
no, I
if you
think that's
told me
really
going
good.
into the year they played this stretch of death and they went 0-4, but all 4 losses were by single digits,
Yeah,
I feel like I'd be pretty okay with that
I
overall.
mean, right now they're 18. They've lost the last 3 games by a combined 18 points. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's really good.
I mean, then
I agree with you. I mean, I like I said, I had all these as losses. The fact that they're so close is really good. I'm just afraid that SMU is SMU to North Texas, and it's going to be whatever it's going to be. And I know that, like I said, that they've had wins in the past, but I think that this SMU team is different in trying to prove something else with it going to a new conference. And North Texas, with a new coach, I do not think is
they're not
right
on that
now.
level.
Yeah, they're not on that level, especially defensively.
Oh, especially defensively. I mean, the this is we have to, take what it is, right? When SMU had a new coach against Seth Luttrell, it got blown out in Apogee Stadium. That was
Yep.
a landmark win. SMU now under Rhett Lashley has not only the resources right now to pay for everything and players, but they're playing well. Give them
Yeah.
credit. North Texas, this is a complete rebuild right here. A win here would be shocking.
It would be. I'd love it.
Yeah, I would love it too. But I'm trying to remember like how I felt going into the Tulane game where I said, they have no shot in this game, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Now I'm like, I'm in a similar headspace where a win would be absolutely shocking and keeping it close, in my opinion, would be progress. Because
Are we?
go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, Are we not giving North Texas enough credit for how it's played these last 3 games,
No,
saying
I
that they
think
have
we
no shot
are,
against
but
SMU?
we're giving I'm giving them credit, but at the same time, there's been no consistency to
Right.
indicate that they can win this game.
Yeah.
You want the game that they show us 4 straight quarters of good football will be the first. And to this point, I'm not betting on that against arguably the best team that they've played this season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do think keeping it close is a step in the right direction because the last 4 games have been a 22-point loss, a 30-point loss, a 23-point loss, and a 38-point loss.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing here? We're trying to get, and obviously, like you don't want to say you're trying to get to where SMU is because SMU, as far as like money wise, is going to be on a different tier. But you're trying to get to the upper echelon of the American, whether SMU's in it or not. And in order to do that, you have to take a step forward, which I think they've done over the last 3 games. And if they lose this game in close fashion, that'll be a 4th straight loss by single digits or less than 2 touchdowns, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That would be progress to me because they're 17-point dogs here. Like, let's call it what it is. Vegas, nobody sees them having any chance here. And Seth Luttrell never covered any spreads. If Eric Morris goes into this stretch of death and covers 3 out of 4, yeah,
Yeah.
covers. I mean, UTSA was almost a cover, but just missed it. So I think that's progress personally. And then we turn our attention after this game. We turn our attention to Tulsa and UAB.
Tulsa UAB.
That's the season. That's the season right there. Can you take what you learned in these 4 games and what you've shown and apply it to Tulsa and UAB? Because those you can't lose. You can't lose those games. And that's where I'm at. And if, dude, I mean, they end the season 5-7, we leave it going, man, what happens if you start Chandler Rogers from day one?
Yeah. You go to a bowl game. You probably go to a bowl game.
That's literally the story of the season.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm okay with a close loss if that happens in this game. Hopefully they don't get blown out.
I agree.
Now, I got to see how good this quarterback is first, though. If this quarterback sucks, then I might just be reevaluating my opinion here. Maybe Kevin Jennings is very shaky and gives us a couple free touchdowns.
Yeah, that is the unknown, right? It's for me, it's hard to believe that any team with a run game and a defense, like you said, UTSA last week, and SMU is a better team than UTSA.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Anything else? Any players you're looking forward to seeing? I want to see obviously Jamori Macklin. I'll tell you what, Trey Cleveland has started to come around quite a bit for North Texas. I mean, Blair Conwright as well. This obviously you have the fumble, but was it Conwright who had the fumble in the first half against?
No, it was Jordan Smart.
Smart, sorry, yes. So Conwright's gotten better. Cleveland's still there. Macklin, Burns. I will give this receiving core credit. I think it's been better than what we thought it was going to be going into the year.
How long do we think that Jamori Macklin can keep up this touchdown streak? Or did he not have one last game? I don't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think he did.
I'll go look just in case.
I don't think
he did either.
I don't think he did. I thought that last game was the first one where he didn't have it. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But I mean, if he ends the year with 15 touchdowns, that's 4 more touchdowns in 3 games.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, we're getting close to Jalen Darden-esque territory. Not really, but Jalen Darden, I think, had 19 touchdowns in like 10 games or something crazy like that. So
it is so crazy to think about 19 touchdowns in 10 games.
Yeah, something along those lines. But yeah, Macklin is putting together a very, very good season. I think he'll have 1 more year of eligibility left going into it.
I think so, yeah.
So can really up his stock and maybe, put himself in NFL position next year. All right. Anything else, or are you ready to pick them?
I am ready to go bald.
Current score here. Let me get it open real quick. Let me not speak out of the line.
Get it up there.
North Texas podcast layout. Current score. Let me move this down to the bottom. Sorry, I'm so unprepared. All right, last week the score was, we reviewed it on the podcast. 3-1, right? Yeah, it was 3-1. It was 3-1.
You got 2 points.
Because it was a wash on the final score.
Yep.
So Brune now has 22, Colin 20. All right. Now we go into SMU week, where we don't know who the quarterback is for SMU at the moment. I'm probably assuming it's Jennings, but regardless, do you want to go first?
Sure. Let's do North Texas first half points given up.
Allowed. Okay. So just SMU first half points.
I guess SMU first half points, yeah. So let's go with over under 20. What's this number going to be? 20 and a half.
Good line, Colin. That's a good line. They always feel like good lines until the game.
Yeah, until you watch the game and you're like, oh, this is an awful line.
Well, actually, no, I've said a couple of bad lines. First half team total 20 and a half for SMU.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to take the over.
God, I wanted the over. Would you have taken it if I went 21 and a half?
I would have taken the under.
Damn it. Jesus.
Okay. What's your second one?
I'm distraught after that.
Gave me a free point.
I think I gave you a free point because they gave up 27 to UTSA. They
I
gave
know.
up it's
A
more than
lot.
21 in every game.
Yeah.
Dang it. Okay, let's go with let's do a running back one. I feel like we haven't given the running back some
Yeah.
love.
We haven't.
Let's do I guess we'll just do rushing because I feel like they always do everyone has a good game every other game. Let's do over under North Texas rushing yards. It's so hard.
Averaging 180 on the season.
Yeah.
5.1 per carry.
Sorry, I'm trying to get to
14 touchdowns.
That's impressive.
A
I'm trying to
day.
get to SMU's
Adelaide.
allowed.
It's not going to be a lot. I'll tell you that much right now.
I know.
Probably like 90.
I know. 90 a game, you think?
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, SMU allowed 50. No, I'm sorry. SMU did allow 148 to Rice. Give them their credit there. 5 yards per carry from Rice. A lot of those. I mean, they had a 57-yard run. So, all right, make the line. Let's go.
137.5.
Under.
Okay. I'll go over. I have a feeling I've just sealed my fate.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe not, though. Maybe not. And that is the joy of the pick'em, Bruni. That is the joy of the pick'em.
All right. How do I want to do this? All right, I'll do a North Texas one. I'll be North Texas positive first. North Texas longest touchdown over under 30.5 yards.
Longest touchdown over under 30.5 yards. Over.
All right.
I'm unsure how to check the stat like that, but I feel like they've broken that every game.
All right, my turn again. So you had the longest touchdown over 30.5 yards. I had under. Rice did rip off a 57-yard rushing touchdown, so that would be great for you in both respects.
I just need that one to happen early. Like, I need it to happen early.
A first half rushing touchdown of over like 50 yards and
rushing or otherwise, it doesn't matter what it is. I just need something.
Colin is losing his mind.
Oh man, that would just be absolutely sad.
Okay, so that's a positive one for North Texas. North Texas defense. I'm gonna go off the cuff here. Maybe you can take advantage of this. I don't know. I'm gonna do one little research tidbit real quick to see if I can find it. Jeez. All right, North Texas tackles for loss. So tackling SMU's offense in the backfield. UNT tackles for loss over under 3.5.
Let me confirm that they still haven't gotten like any. Oh, they had 4 last game.
Rice did not get a sack. Rice did not get a sack last game.
But you said tackle for loss.
Yes, I know that is different, but I'm just saying Rice did not have a sack.
I think we did this earlier this season.
Yes,
and
it was it was Navy, the Navy game.
Wasn't Navy, and I think I won it, but I feel like they've gotten slightly better somehow at that. Mm-hmm. Over under 3.5. They only had 3 against Tulane, but they had 6 against Memphis and 4 or 5 against UTSA. I'm gonna go over.
You sure about that?
I think they run the ball a lot.
Okay, and maybe backup quarterback can help you out there.
I'm only hoping that they just run the ball a lot, and then we just
shoot a gap.
You just send everybody, and you just get a guy to like -0.1. That's what I'm hoping for. Also, the last 3 games there has been a touchdown over 30 yards.
All right,
by
Then
North
you're
Texas.
good.
If it stops against SMU,
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
don't know.
Colin. All 4 of these picks are the ones that I would have taken anyways. So, well, I did get to pick the first 2 anyways. But yes, year 2, I'm very excited about it.
Well, my 2 are pretty bad, so I guess I need to win the score prediction. So,
All right, what's your score prediction? Do you want me to go first?
yeah.
On Billy's podcast, I said a higher total. And now that Preston Stone is questionable to maybe even doubtful, I think there's maybe hope of getting a stop or 2. I don't think it comes in the first half, obviously, but in the second half, maybe reel it in maybe a bit, bring it a little closer. Give me SMU 34, North Texas 28. No. 27.
What was it? SMU 34, North Texas
SMU
28.
34, North Texas 27.
Jeez, that's close, huh?
It is close. I said before I was coming on, I was picking a one touchdown spread with their backup quarterback. That's what my thinking was.
That's what your thinking was.
If
Now
I
I
can
need
get,
Preston. Now I need Preston Stone to start.
yeah,
I'm gonna go. I still think SMU does SMU things. I'm gonna go SMU 38, North Texas 28.
okay. So all that, and you didn't even pick that big of a difference.
Up 3 points. I price is righted you, so I need this. I need this.
All right, we'll see. Anything else before we wrap it up? Basketball plays again on. We have to also remind everybody who maybe wasn't aware. This game's on a Friday night, Friday 8 p.m.
Yeah,
on
tomorrow.
ESPN2, I believe.
Yep.
So yes, tomorrow. So tune in, don't miss it. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be live tweeting it as always. We'll have our instant reaction podcast up that night, tomorrow night. So tune into that, and then basketball plays on Saturday nights. So we'll see how that goes against Nebraska, Omaha. We won't have a reaction podcast up for that, but regardless, there it is. Thank you all for joining us. We'll look maybe to have a guest on, not next week, the following week, because next week we'll be in Charleston for the Charleston Classic, repping our mean green. Also, Colin, side note, I was wearing this shirt playing basketball, and someone asked me, "You go to UNT?" I said, "Oh, I did. I did." And he was like, "Wow, where is that?" And I was like, you know what North Texas is, but you don't know where it
That's
is.
pretty impressive.
Like, how do you even? I mean, maybe that's just the brand. Maybe he saw the
Yeah,
logo.
I
He
want to
was
know
like,
why they asked you if you've been there, or if you're going there right now when it's November and you
I know.
should be there right now if you're going there.
I know it was like 5 p.m. playing basketball. I know, and they're like, I know, I went there in the past. And he's like, where exactly is that? Is that just the northern part of Texas? I was like, yeah, just north of Dallas. But
Is North Texas in the
I
northern
could
part of
see
Texas
somebody
is
thinking that's
crazy.
not from Texas, thinking maybe that's like the Panhandle, And I'm like, no, it's just 45 minutes north of Dallas. Like, that's it. So,
Could you think that though? Panhandle?
I mean, if you're not from Texas and you look at a map of
Does
Texas,
anyone actually like look at the Panhandle going, "Oh,
I,
that's Texas"?
I
Like
hope not.
I don't think of the Panhandle when I think of Texas.
Honestly, we should just give it to Oklahoma.
I always think of it cut off. Like it's like north and then you have Panhandle. Like it's like
But where's
that's
Amarillo?
I don't think it's in the Panhandle, is it?
I think it's close. I could be wrong. It could be more west than I'm
I feel
thinking.
like I
Actually,
drove through it when I went to
I might be thinking of a different
Colorado,
city.
but I guess that would make sense. Hold on, quickly for the verification. It is in the Panhandle.
I was right.
Yes, for some reason in my head, and I don't know why I thought this. I imagined the Panhandle being as skinny as Oklahoma's, and I don't know why because I've lived in Texas.
Look, either we
But
need to give Oklahoma the Panhandle, or we need to take that little bit from Oklahoma. There needs to be a war over that
take
little
that little
sliver.
bit. What do you mean? Oh, that sliver?
The
So then we have
sliver.
a super long Panhandle?
Yeah, the sliver of Oklahoma. It's not going to show up, I don't think. Yeah, that. You see it?
That is you could yes, I see it now. Yep. There it is. Oh,
This,
Dodge. Does that say Dodge City?
yeah.
Shout out Jason Edwards. Anyways,
Jason Edwards. Shout out all the JUCO boys that have gone through like Hutchinson, Kansas, and Dodge City, Missouri, all of y'all, whatever it is. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll be back after the game on Friday, late Friday night. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff, so we'll be wide awake. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us. Leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening on the Republic of Football podcast feed. And leave us a like, comment, share, subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate the support.
what are we at?
We were like 276 last I checked, something like that.
300 was just wrong. Sorry.
We're gonna go from getting like 10 subscribers in a month to getting 30.
279.
Wow, that's actually impressive. It might be some UTSA people. Shout out to y'all.
That one
I don't
guy.
think SMU people are gonna watch our pod, but if y'all do, subscribe as well. I would.
Who do you hate
appreciate
more, UTSA or SMU?
Look, UTSA is a bigger rival, like significantly bigger rival, but I also don't like SMU a lot.
I have like a deep hatred for SMU.
Yeah. Like they can say what it wants, like whether it's a rivalry or not. I don't care. I just don't like
Yeah,
them.
if I didn't go to North Texas, I'd hate SMU. like, like that's the difference, you know. Like UTSA, like
yeah, it's like if I didn't, yeah, it's like that's a very much North Texas versus.
It's a friendly rivalry, you know.
UTSA.
It's like
that's like a rivalry thing. Like, hey, you know, we both are like here in the trenches battling.
Whereas I think
out.
SMU looks at North Texas and like, God, that trash, you know. And I look at SMU and I'm like, God.
Here's the thing.
I hate all of you.
Whatever, regardless of, you know, if North Texas loses this weekend, all of the pressure turns to Ross Hodge and North Texas basketball. You have to beat SMU before the league.
I did not even think about
because
how did I not think about this?
We've talked about this before. SMU's basketball program has been ducking North Texas since Grant McCasland took over.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to play you once they leave for the ACC. So this is your one chance this year to be like, hey, y'all think y'all are, you know, some big bad, you know, tough dudes just spending a bunch of money out here on football. Well, let's go on the hardwood real quick. And we got a bunch of JUCO guys here that are ready to just square up and beat you. And so that's where I'm at with.
Would you rather have a UTSA win or a North Texas basketball win over SMU?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a good question, Colin. So
I'd rather have the SMU
over UTSA or
North Texas football. Basketball doesn't count.
The thing is, yeah, no, I understand. The basketball win would be so sweet because, like I said, SMU doesn't want to play North Texas.
Right.
So now it's like we're here at your doorstep, whether you want to play us or not.
Right.
So I probably would lean that because we're playing UTSA no matter what. And I think that'll be like a back and forth series for a bit. But yeah, that SMU game. When is that SMU game?
I hate SMU.
Speak of the dough. Let me see when that SMU game is exactly. SMU North Texas in the pit, January 25th. And then they play again on February 11th.
What day is that? I might have to go there.
January 25th is a Thursday.
God dang it.
The SMU game is on a Sunday, if you're interested in that. It's probably the same. Oh, no, we're in Van Alstyne now. Yeah.
Wait, you said the game is on January 25th, which is a Thursday, but the game is on a Sunday?
No, the other game is on February 11th, which is on a Sunday.
At
SMU.
Oh.
The second one's
I'm not going to SMU. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
That's really far too.
Just take off work on Thursday and make the drive.
I don't have
round up your friends, round up your pals.
You think anyone from Van Alstyne is on the way to Denton?
Yeah, that's a great city.
Who do you think is on the way?
The VA.
Nobody.
Okay. Well, you could pick up some of your friends in Dallas and whatnot, or in Denton.
I think between me and Denton, there's like a total population of like 6,000 people.
Well, you just gotta go down and take 35.
No. The way I get to Denton is an hour, and I go straight west through back roads. Yeah, that's the fastest way.
Yeah.
After you do 121.35, it's like an hour and a half. And I'm not about that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, there's the geography of Texas. We talked about that a lot in this podcast. Yeah. But
for us,
that's it. We're done. We will talk to you all tomorrow.